Hi everyone, I thank you so much for the continued support. I thank you for following us over these 16 weeks so far. I thank you for the feedback. I thank you for staying steadfast with changing times. Thank you so much for the likes, for the comments. I thank you for supporting this work. Edith is my name again, and I welcome you back to Changing Times. I hope that this engagement has given us some food for thought. It has changed some lives. I also hope that there is a hope for a better future for some people. And over the 16 weeks, I know that there is some content that's gone out, and I know that some people have had some changes within them. We have spoken about the emotions that we tie to our losses and what loss actually is. And I'm encouraged because I had my own loss, and with the information that I have so far put out and the feedback that I've got, I have also learned and unlearned certain things. And I hope that it's the same for us all. Thank you for inviting others. Thank you for sharing this information. Thank you so much for the feedback. I thank you so much that over time, we have grown with the changing times. And without a doubt, we shall thrive through our different losses. That one, for me, is my promise, that I shall thrive. I shall thrive no matter how long it takes, no matter how deep the pain is or has been. I know that I shall thrive. And I continue to purpose to thrive. And I wish this for everybody. Previously, we talked about the emotions as we have discussed them over the 16 weeks. And the different emotions involve the emotion of course, we have the shock, we have denial, we have fear, we have anger. And I have extensively discussed anger in three different aspects. Anger towards the person that has passed or the situation, anger towards the environment of all the people around us, and anger towards a superior being. And I went ahead to talk about support for children with their emotions towards their losses. That I feel a need to discuss further. There is a situation where there are questions that we have, and answers must be derived from different people's experiences. I have my own. I have also the experiences that I have experienced through support, but each one has their own relation, and this we shall keep going back and forth about the children. But today I would like us to kind of revisit the previous conversation, but also to move forward, because I feel like we've exhausted the emotions and we are going to, we are ready to move on. But before we move on, I would like to go back a bit to children and their different emotions towards loss. There are people who ignore children's feelings, but because I have shared my experience, I have learned and unlearned to support and also take out the things that I have assumed over time about children. Of course, the experience is with my own. While we as, say, mothers have mastered and have had a lot of support, because I have had a lot of support through my loss. I have had a lot of support from people who are practitioners to people who are just my friends, from family, and from people who I least expected. I'm privileged to have been supported. I don't know about you and your support, but I have two things to say about support. One, when I spoke about children, I emphasized that let us not just generalize the support towards children. Let us give individual support. Like I said, loss is personal. Everybody experiences their losses personally. So let us not imagine for children, but give the support that they need, not the support that we think they need. Secondly, there are questions about the superior being God, it is important to not just assume, but listen to them and give them the support depending on what knowledge they have about God and how they would like to relate with God. Because when we encounter loss, we also have our own feelings towards God. What makes us think that children don't have their doubts about God and His sovereignty? We need to give this time an appropriate support. Otherwise, we might miss the point. That I will revisit in another conversation. But I want us to also think about the fact that there is a usually ignored party when it comes to loss, and these are the men. Previously, I said, I don't know what my dead husband would do if I were the one that died. Because I have worked with men and I have a bit of information about their experience of loss. Men lose many things, by the way, and they will hardly speak about these things. Why? Because society has raised them to be men about things. But who is a man or woman about a loss? There are losses that we can afford to have. There are certain losses that when they happen to us, they take a lot from us. They take a big portion of our lives with them. And we are more like far from recovery. My own loss, I felt like I lost half of my life. And while I don't even try to recover it, I want to deal with the half that I'm left with to thrive. Now, when it comes to men, I have certain questions. Like there are certain ways in which I wonder how they cope with their losses. Because society expects certain things from them, they expect certain things from themselves. I've heard about support groups for women. I've heard about widows, this and that about women and their support when they lose their loved ones. I've hardly heard support groups for men. Do we think that men need support groups? Men, do you think you need support groups? Do you think you need support? Or do we just carry on business as usual? Please note that reality has a way of getting back at us. The reality of loss will hit you when you least expect. There is wanting to get over the loss by quickly moving on. It will show up. It will show up in the least expected ways. It's important to attend to your loss. It is very important to attend to your loss. A man who loses a wife and quickly marries has their time when they will deal with the effects of their loss. That one I say without a doubt. Okay? So there is no medication for pain. You've got to go through it. These experiences, we have to go through them. So when you are tasked to support, give appropriate support. And even the ignored parties, it's important to think for them and reach out to them. A man may not necessarily walk to a counselor to get support, but we as the people who relate with them, who have them for friends, who have them for colleagues, who have them for our children, or whatever it is that you relate with, reach out. Reach out. Someone may not necessarily come to you, but find a way to reach out. Some people will not talk about their pain, but it's important for everybody to know that they are cared about enough. So let us reach out to people. Let's reach out and let's be supportive in every way, in every non-judgmental way possible. Don't wait to be asked. It helps to reach out. It helps to show others compassion. It helps for people to know that someone cares for me. I don't know about support groups for men, but I know that they too deserve the love, they deserve the care, they deserve to be thought about. Children too deserve the love, they deserve the care, and they deserve to be thought about in their losses. Women, you also deserve the love and the care and the support. The support givers, please be aware that when you give it with all your heart, it returns to you full measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Let us give it cheerfully, knowing that if our turn comes, or when our turn comes, it may not even come, but when it comes, we shall be receiving it back. I am one of those people that has received so much love from my loss, so much care from my loss, and I am happy, and I know that once in my lifetime I gave of myself. So now that I'm receiving it back, I feel like I did a good thing at one point in my life. Let's be the best that we can be to others, so that when our turn comes, we receive back that even more. I thank you for sharing, those that have shared. I call upon everybody that knows of someone who needs support to please reach out. Reach out. Please reach out. Don't just text message. Do not just make calls. Physically reach out. If it is a person in your circle, do not assume that they're okay just because they say okay. Don't go with the standard words of it is well. It is never well. It isn't. Just reach out and do not use your standard words. Reach out and be of great support. Even silence with physical presence is great support. And reach out in feasible ways. Don't just assume. Reach out. I thank you so much. And I pray that those that need support will reach out. And if they don't reach out, please be the support that is required. For children, as caregivers, please make sure that you give the appropriate support to them. And I know that together we shall thrive. That when we give of ourselves, we shall get it back. And even when we need support, let us be willing to receive the support. With an open heart, you receive the support. When you close out, people may not be able to reach you. I thank you, and I look forward to being of service. Of course, I thank the people that have reached out, that have trusted me, and I look forward to supporting those that are in need of support. Next time, we shall move on to the next reaction to loss. We have covered the emotions, and I know that we have an idea of these emotions and what they can do to us. What I emphasize is they don't happen systematically. We have lapses, that we have relapses. So when sometimes you may be recovering from a certain emotion and you'll be shocked at the different ways in which it comes back. Why? Because loss is not exclusive. We sometimes have losses within losses. Sometimes you have traumatic events. Sometimes you have triggers that take us back. You will fall many times, but do not forget to rise up, because it's not how many times you fall, it is how able you are to rise up from your loss. Rise up from the things that, take you back. You will go back. You'll have moments of anger, you'll have moments of shock, you'll have moments of, disturbance, whichever emotion. Do not expect too much of yourself. Just know one thing, the goal is to thrive. And however much you go backwards, you will still thrive if you determine to thrive. Thank you so much. Changing times. Please remember to like, remember to subscribe, and remember to encourage someone to subscribe. Remember to encourage someone to reach out to another. Remember that this information, once shared, you have done yourself a good service and someone else. Thank you so much. I remain Edith, and I look forward to the next time we're meeting. Changing times, we shall thrive.